core and body weight workout virtually from the comfort of my own home, so you can do it from the comfort of your own home during our quarantine. So follow along. I'm going to show you 8 different exercises that we're going to be doing. It's going to be a 30-minute AMRAP, but let's start out with our warm-up. So we're going to start out with 10 lunges on each side, giving a little twist to warm up that torso. All right, let's start. So you're just going to lunge forward, twist to the opposite knee. We're going to do 10 on each side. Keep your core nice and tight. Chest up. One more on each side. Now we're going to go into a lunge, and you're going to reach forward. Pressing our chest out, pushing our shoulders back, opening up that core and chest. Again, 10 on each side. Last one. All right. Just get those legs nice and warm. Next, we're going to do 10 inchworms. So, if you remember from last week, an inchworm is a walk out to a plank, a cobra, a downward dog, and then walk your hands back to your feet. It's going to look like this. I'm pushing my chest through my shoulders, walking my hands back to my feet. Stretch out your core. Try to get your heels to touch the ground. Stretch out that calf. We're doing this 10 times. Two more. Last one. Slowly come up. All right. Last we're going to do is we're going to do some arm circles to warm up our shoulders. So we're going to go forward 10 times. Nice big circles. And reverse. All right, should be nice and warm now. I'm nice and warm because I have my wood stove cranked up very high because it's pretty cold this morning, but it feels really nice in my living room right now. So let's get to the workout. So again, I have 8 exercises. I'm just going to demonstrate each exercise for you. And what you're going to do is you're going to set your clock to 30 minutes. You're going to do each exercise one right after the other for, I think they're all 10 reps. 10 reps of each exercise, one right after the other. And once you get through those 8 exercises, you're going to circle back up to the top and you're going to complete those exercises again. And you're going to do that for 30 minutes. So you should be able to get about 3 to 5 rounds depending on how fast you go through the workout. I'm going to emphasize this. I would rather you go nice and slow, make sure each movement is correct form, correct technique, really get everything you can out of that exercise instead of trying to punch through it and try to get as many rounds as you can. So if you only get 3 rounds, that's fine, as long as you're doing all the movements correctly and you're really getting everything you can out of each movement. So let's start with the first exercise. It's going to be called a dead bug. So a dead bug, you can just use your body weight, or you can use a stability ball. One of these guys. So I'm going to demonstrate to you with the stability ball. If you don't have a stability ball, you can do it without the stability ball, it's totally fine. So you're going to lie on your back. Your feet and your hands are going to touch the ball, and you're going to opposite release one hand and one foot. And switch. Now as I'm doing this, I'm pulling my belly button into my spine and I'm pressing my spine to the ground. And that is what is allowing me to balance. Now if you're not using the ball, just set that aside. And you're just going to pretend like the ball is there. Hold on, let me get this out of the way. So pretend the ball is there. Opposite arm, opposite leg. I'm still maintaining a nice tight core. And I'm driving my spine down into the ground every time I bring my arms and my hand down. So you're going to do that for 10 rounds on each side. The next exercise I have is called a clamshell. So you're going to get onto your side. Your knees are together. Your feet are together. Let's go up here a little bit. Heels are going to continuously touch. You're going to activate your glute, and you're going to bring your knee up, squeeze that glute, keep the glutes nice and tight as you come back down, and repeat. Now if you have a band, you can put the band right above the knee, and that's going to give you a little bit more resistance. You just want to make sure that you squeeze on each contraction. So you do 10 reps on that side, you'll flip over, and repeat 10 reps on this side. Alright, and that is exercise 2. For our third exercise, we're going to do a Superman flutter. So you're going to get on your belly. Again, you're going to maintain a nice tight core. Your arms are going to come out in front of you. Your legs are behind you. And you're gonna bring one arm up and one leg up, opposite leg at the same time. So I'm squeezing my glutes, crunching my back, and keeping my core nice and tight. So again, it's 10 reps on each side. So you'll go 1 rep, 1 rep, 2 reps, 2 reps, all the way for 10 reps. Fourth exercise is going to be elevator squats. So elevator squats are a squat with 3 different levels. So you'll start with your first level, just a couple inches down, a couple more inches. Last level is going to be all the way down. Come back up, stop, stop, and up to the top. Again, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you're going to do that 10 times. Our fifth exercise is going to be a side plank crunch. So you're going to get into that side plank position. I prefer to go on my elbows because my wrists get a little sore when I'm up on my hand, but you can definitely get into this position, or you can get into this position. So as I'm here, I'm going to bring my knee up to my elbow, and I'm going to crunch. Keeping my core nice and tight. 10 reps on that side, switch around, 10 reps on this side. All right, next exercise, we're gonna go to hand release push-ups. So this is just a push-up. When you come down to the floor, you're going to release your hands, and then you're going to push back up. That's 1, 2, 3. All the way for 10 reps. Make sure you keep your core nice and tight. Don't let your back dip in. Don't stick your butt out. Okay? And let's see, we're on to the 7th exercise, which is going to be glute bridges. So you're going to lay on your back. You're going to pull your belly button back into your spine, press your spine down into the floor, and you're going to lift your hips up, squeezing your glutes on the way up. You want to make sure that your hips are fully extended. Glutes are nice and tight, core is nice and tight. Come back down nice and slowly. And up again. Ten reps. And our last exercise is going to be called a stink bug. This is a regression to a handstand push-up. So the idea is that you want to try to get your upper half of your body in a straight up and down position. The best way to do that is to get into a downward dog position. So I'm in a downward dog position. My hands are just on the outside of my shoulders. My chest is pushed through my hands, and I'm just going to do a push-up, tap my head, and come back up. Notice how my hands are a lot further out in front of me. That's helping me activate my upper back muscles as opposed to my chest muscles that I just worked doing my push-ups. If you can't go all the way down, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure that your form is correct and that you're filling it up in those upper trap shoulder muscles. All right, so those are our 10 exercises, those are our 8 exercises, 10 reps apiece. Finish that round, go back to the top exercise, do your next round, and continue that for 30 minutes. For our cool down, you're going to want to stretch a lot of your leg muscles. So one of the stretches that I love is a quad stretch, and I do that up against the wall. So if you have a wall that you can do this with, you're just going to go back up against the wall. You're going to put one foot up against the wall, come down. You can put a pillow under your knee if you need to, and you're just going to sit up nice and straight. And you should feel that hip flexor stretching out. If you don't feel that, move your knee closer to the wall. If that's too much for you and you can't get all the way up, then bring your knee away from the wall, and that'll give you a little bit more release. So you want to do that 30 seconds on each side. Be careful getting up. If you don't have a wall that you can do that, you can do it on the ground. Put one leg out in front of you. This knee's going to come behind you, and you're just going to lay back and feel the stretch that way. Still 30 seconds on each side. For your hamstrings, you're going to bring your feet out in front of you. You're going to reach forward. You're going to want to press down with your tailbone, and you'll feel a nice deep stretch in those hamstrings. Alternatively, if that is uncomfortable for you, you can do it standing up. You're just going to bend forward, push your butt out. So I'm pushing my butt out, and I'm getting a nice stretch in my hamstrings. And pigeon stretch, you're going to start into a runner's lunge. Come down, bring your foot inward, and then you're going to extend the back leg. And you're just going to press down. That foot's going to be right underneath your belly button, and you should feel a good stretch right on your outer hip. And then you'll switch sides. And stretch the other side. Hold each stretch for 30 seconds. And then we'll do the cobra stretch to stretch out that core that we just worked out really good. So that's just going to go down and hold. Pressing my shoulders back, my chest is out, and I'm folding my back. 30 seconds. And then you'll come up into a downward dog. Try to get those heels pressed down to the floor and push your chest through. And hold that for 30 seconds. And the final stretch. Find a doorway, bring your arms up into a 90-degree angle, and walk through, pressing your chest through that doorway. And a nice chest stretch. And hold that for 30 seconds. All right, and that's it for today's workout. Hope you guys are staying safe and keeping active while you're stuck at home. Tune in tomorrow for another great workout, and we will see you soon.